Good morning, ladies. How are you today? It's Amanda, and today, instead of our weekly interview series, I'm going to come on and answer a couple of questions that I've received. And first of all, I want to start by saying, this morning was a hell of a morning. So I'm just going to be real with you, ladies, and let you know. This morning was one of the mornings where, getting out of the house was a total nightmare. And my poor little daughter had the biggest meltdown she's had in I don't know how long, which is so heartbreaking to me. And of course, it triggers both my husband and I, and none of us were our best selves by any stretch of the imagination. And so I just felt so heavy and sad when I dropped her off, and she was so sad. So I had to stay for so long, and try to comfort her and get her settled into school. And man, it was a shitty morning, I'm just going to tell you. So what I did was, and this is such a great tool that I've learned to really help me in these situations, is literally I came home and did a 4-minute shaking practice. So what does that look like? I put on a song and just literally shook my body. So you just shake and just scream and kick and whatever you have to do. Get it out of your system and shake, shake, shake. So I did that. And then I just breathed for a couple minutes. I took a shower. And during my shower, after shaking out everything I didn't want in my system, I wanted to refill with the things I did want in my system. So then I just envisioned filling up with love and compassion and forgiveness for myself, for, whatever happened this morning, and just moving forward and from a place of love and deep, deep kindness and compassion. And I feel so much better now. I mean, it's amazing how if you just give yourself a moment to actually experience your experience, you feel so much better. So, hi, Barry. So anyways, I feel so much better now, but it was a really rough time. So I just wanted to share that just in case any of you ever have those mornings and are looking for a way to kind of move forward when you feel so heavy and sad. But what I wanted to talk about today, and this is a question I got so much on my recent survey, and so many people just want to know. Number one, is what's going on in my relationship normal? And one of the number one questions that people asked me about was mismatched libidos. And I want to let you know that that is so very normal. And probably one of the most common things that people come to a therapist to, or a coach to work out. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that and let you know that, again, that is just very normal, and what you can do about it. Because a lot of times, if you're having this mismatch in libidos, there can be many issues going on that, outside of the sexual relationship, but just in a relationship in general. And a lot of times people think that it is, one partner, like the man maybe wants it more, but a lot of times it's the woman. So it's really on both sides that it can be mismatched. And so you're very normal if you are wanting more than your partner, or they want more than you. Either scenario, either side of the coin that you are on, it's so common. So some of the things that I like to advise is, number one, just take a look at the entire relationship and what else could be going on. Do you have a lot of resentment building? Because sometimes even just being able to have a conversation and talk about what's going on with you is so healing, because, many times there's other things going on that maybe we're pushing down or not addressing. So it's so important to maybe see what else is going on. And I know resentment is a big one. And that's just something to keep in mind. What can you do about resentment? Well, talk about your needs and make sure that you both are, have a time and a space to regularly express what you want and need from each other. Are you getting it? Are you not? How could you better support one another? It is a team effort. And sometimes I know if you're feeling it's very one-sided, you just want to give up and not do anything. But I can tell you, even if on your side you're doing some work to kind of figure out what you need and how to get your needs met outside of your partner, everyone's going to be happier in the relationship. And 9 times out of 10, your partner's going to come along down the line. So the other thing is to really think about what you can do. Rachel, hi, how's it going? Is to put yourself in their shoes, in your partner's shoes as well. So at some point, just kind of really think about their perspective as well as your perspective, so you can make sure that maybe you have a better understanding behind their either wanting more than you do or wanting less than you do. And that is another thing to look at. So I think one of the things that you can really do to help bridge that gap overall is just to really talk more about how you appreciate each other and what you appreciate about the other person. So this might not always be easy, but I say if you can in the morning and before bed, what are 3 things you appreciate about your partner that you can tell them? that are genuine in the morning and at night. For both, just take a turn really quick. 3 things, each of you share them with the other, because in their busy lives we forget. And I think that's where a lot of times the resentment can start to build, is not feeling appreciated and not feeling seen or loved by your partner. So that is a great start right there, as simple as it may be. And another thing, I know people hate this, but it's always very important, is scheduling. Because think about it. When you first started dating, or when you first got together, did you schedule dates? Or did you just randomly show up on the other person's front door? Well, you might have done that every once in a while, but for the most part, you scheduled dates and you got excited about it, which is kind of similar to scheduling dates for intimacy. And that's the other thing too, is how do you define it? So another thing you can really talk about is maybe redefining what this sexual encounter will look like. Who is touching? Maybe one of you just is receiving touch. Maybe one of you is just giving touch. And there's some great practices that I love to share with couples around that. But the other thing, what else could you do? Maybe it's just, reading an erotic story to the other, or, maybe there's touch involved, maybe there isn't. Maybe, there's lots of different ways you can redefine what that intimacy looks like, so both partners can feel like they're having their needs met. So that's just a different way to look at it. Maybe it isn't always just intercourse. Maybe there's other things that can make you both feel like your needs are being met. A lot of times just scheduling that time, even just for intimacy, without even having sex on the table, can lead to more, because with that increase in, just physical touch and time for one another, it really kind of bridges that gap. So the other thing about scheduling is, rather than looking at it as a to-do and another thing on your list, if you can change your mindset. So shift your mindset when you schedule. So think of it more like you're planning a vacation, say. So, or, you're planning something fun. So you can both get on board and get excited about it. Like, ooh, we're going to plan this encounter and it's going to be sexy and fun, and you can both kind of get your mindset changed around it. So it's not viewed so much as a to-do, but something that you actually are excited about and can look forward to. Because you know that you're going to connect and you're going to get some needs met and you're going to give your partner something that they need. And, that's part of a relationship too, is the give and take. And think of it like a back rub. Like sometimes you might want to give a back rub, sometimes you might not. And the same with sex. You can do it if you want. You don't have to. You can stop if you get tired, and you can always say no. So, and understanding that and respecting that in each other. You can always say no, and respecting that when your partner says no. Let's see here. Oh, yes. The other thing. And again, guys, if you're watching, if you have questions, please post them. I think I figured out how to see what people are asking now. So you can please ask questions if you have them along the way. Another thing, too, that can help with the mismatched libidos is when you are having these discussions about, what intimacy looks like, what is some other ways that you can have your sexual needs met, is talk about which times are best for you. Alison Armstrong has a great book called The Queen's Code, and I think she refers to it as like your Cinderella hours. So, for example, if at a certain time you're going to turn into a pumpkin, and that's when your partner is like super fired up, then you guys are going to be mismatched. So kind of finding a way to compromise in those areas. Like maybe sometimes you get up a little earlier and connect then, or maybe sometimes you do something to get some more energy later in the day so you can try to connect at night. But having that compromise, because here, like anything in a relationship, you're probably not going to have your needs met 100% of the time. But if there's give and take and you feel like there's compromise and you are getting them met some of the time, is that better than never having them met? I would say so. Because like anything, we're human and we can only do what we can do, right? So just know that it's a process. But really, figuring out the best times and trying to optimize those can help as well. And the other thing is, this is another thing I like to talk about when you've got these things scheduled and you're getting together, is have that transition time. And I know I posted this on another video. It's a beautiful transition ritual that you can create for yourself, that you can go from your busy day to transitioning into intimacy, whatever that looks like. So it could be as simple as, washing your face, or lighting a candle, or putting on some music and breathing for 3 minutes before your partner comes in the room. It can be that simple, but you have to create this ritual for yourself to transition so that your body knows and your mind knows that it's time to relax and you can switch gears and be open to receiving and giving love and affection and caring. Because that's really what it's all about. And we really need that human connection. And that's part of why we want to be in a relationship, is to be able to connect with each other and support each other. And the final thing I want to say is that once you do have it scheduled, it's kind of like going to the gym. You know, a lot of times when you first get there, the last thing you want to do is go, but you like force yourself to go, and then you get there and you start running, and after 5 or 10 minutes, you feel really great. And the same thing is true for sex, because once you get going, all the feel-good chemicals start releasing in your body, and oxytocin and your pheromones and testosterone and all these feel-good chemicals that can help you get in the mood and feel better. And it's so good for your nervous system and your body. So once you get those going on a more regular basis, you're going to feel so much more connected too. And I understand how sometimes if it's been a while since you've had intimacy, it takes a while to build. So just be really gentle with yourself and be really passionate for both what you need and what your partner needs. Because that's part of it, is just understanding that it's a journey. It may not happen overnight, but hopefully some of these tips will help you out when that happens. So I know that was one of the biggest questions that I got asked. So I really wanted to address that. And, you know, another one of the big questions was about building desire. How do you build more desire for your partner? And I did a nice video about that a while back. I can actually post it under here. But again, a lot of these same things, ring true for that as well, is really those simple things of making the other person feel appreciated outside of the bedroom. How simple it is, but just 3 things you can appreciate in the morning and at night. And maybe if your partner's not playing along, you can write them down. But sometimes, like I said, it's a journey that you take on your own, and eventually your partner will probably come along. And if they don't, then you can readdress things at that point. But, like I always say, if you want more love, give more love. And I know for myself, when I feel disconnect happening in my relationship and I take a hard look at myself, I realize it's me that's probably being a little more shutting down, or kind of, not paying attention when he comes home, or doing things that probably are shutting him out that I don't even realize. So just making that conscious effort to be open, to be compassionate, and to think of their perspective as well is important. So thank you, ladies, so much for watching. Do you have any questions at all? If you do, you can post them, or again, you can just private message me if you don't want to say it in the group, and I will respond to any question that's left below here. But thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I was planning on going longer, but I feel like I want to kind of keep these short and sweet because I know everybody's got a busy day. I do want to say next week, I'm excited. I'm going to be interviewing Kate with Passion with Kate, and she is of course, she's going to be on next Wednesday, and I'm going to post some more information about that upcoming, but that's going to be an amazing interview, so I'll look forward to that. And if there's anything else that you guys want to learn more about, please feel free to keep sending questions. I've got a lot more I'm going to keep coming back to throughout the next few weeks, and I hope you have an amazing day.